All right, guys, what's going on? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And you know what? If I were to ask you guys, or if I were to say, XDefiant's biggest problem is this, or XDefiant's biggest problem is that, I'm pretty sure, or even if I were just to ask you, what is your biggest problem with XDefiant, or what's XDefiant's biggest problem in your opinion? I'm pretty sure that in the comment section, I would be seeing a vast variety of different answers to this, right? So, what is XDefiant's biggest problem? So I'm about to tell you what XDefiant's biggest problem is, and I'm pretty sure every single one of you, if not the vast majority of you, will agree with this after you listen to what I have to say, especially. And XDefiant's biggest problem is the fact that it is literally inconsistent for everybody in different ways. For instance, if I were to tell you guys that that over the last few weeks or whatnot, that the hit registration with my personal experience has been more consistent and more responsive, I'm pretty sure there's a pretty good amount of you that will disagree with me because your experience has been worse, especially ever since the Season 1 launch, right? Or let's say, I am not having as much of an annoyance problem with the Intel suit ever since the nerf, right? And some of you guys out there might be saying, oh, it's still annoying or whatever it is, right? So now, granted, this is kind of an opinionated sort of subject as well. However, I think that there's a lot of things that we have in common when it comes to this particular subject, because in my comment section over the last God knows how long in the videos that I've made, a lot of you guys have been telling me that you've been having problems with this issue, and then yet other people will say, well, no, I haven't really been having that much of a problem with this, but I've been having more of a problem with that. So, so inconsistencies with this game is the biggest problem with XDefiant, literally, because despite the fact that we can all agree that the netcode still needs tweaking or whatnot, again, some people out there like myself have been feeling more responsiveness in terms of the hit registration. Now, granted, I'm still having problems with getting shot around walls for sure, but in terms of responsiveness of hit registration, that for me has improved, as well as just the overall responsiveness of the game. But again, I know for a lot of people that hasn't been the case at all. For a lot of people, that has not been the case at all. Some people will say that the sniper nerf was like, the best ever, and snipers are at a much better place now. And yet other people will say that pretty much the same stuff has been happening with them. It's like the sniper nerf pretty much did nothing or whatnot. So, again, everything literally varies. Like from my experience, again, as I previously have mentioned, and again, I've done multiple takes of this commentary, so I'm just going to mention it one more time in case I haven't already here in this video. Again, the Intel suit for me hasn't been nearly as annoying, than it was, pre-nerf. So, but some of you will agree, some of you will disagree, and I think the variety is in the inconsistencies of the game that it has in and of itself, as well as the fact that, well, maybe some people will just be playing different game modes, and it depends on the game mode that you play in terms of annoyances. However, my counter to that is that a lot of people have been having issues with the spider bot. A lot of people think that it's arguably the most annoying thing in the game, and I play Team Deathmatch and Hotshot, and I'm pretty sure that there's a good amount of you guys that actually play more objective-based game modes like Occupy or Domination, for instance, and yet are still having problems with the spider bot. So, and again, with when it comes to objective-based game modes, I think the factions play even a bigger role than they would in like, let's say, a Team Deathmatch or whatnot, because of just how it works whenever it becomes when it gets to objective-based gameplay. So again, this is why the factions exist, right? But the problem is, whenever you nerf something or whenever you buff something, the problem is that it is very hard to reach that point to where that weapon or that ability is still good, but not like crazy cheesy or whatnot that matches everything else in the game. That's the problem. Because even if you look at, for instance, older Call of Duty titles, right? Like if you say, like when you look at some of the older Call of Duty titles, I think pretty much all of us across the board will agree with a few of the things that I have to say. And here's a few of the things that I have to say. Let's look at World at War, for instance, a Call of Duty that I haven't played, by the way, but I know a decent amount about it, right? I think the MP40 in World at War is crazy overpowered, right? I think a lot of us could agree with that. Let's go fast forward to Black Ops 1. I think we can all agree that the AK-74U and the FAMAS are the two overpowered weapons in the game. I think in Modern Warfare 3, the OG Modern Warfare 3, I think we can all agree that The MP7 was really good, as well as Sitrep Pro being crazy overpowered. So and again, the list goes on and on, right? Black Ops 2 snipers are bananas, so to speak, right? So again, the list goes on and on, but I think we can all agree with a lot of the things that I just mentioned, right? So but when it comes to XDefiant, I think things are a little bit more spread out, right, in terms of opinion, because the inconsistencies that this game has in terms of its issues, right, with I think it all kind of boils down to netcode, to be honest with you. But despite that, the thing is this, like, if I'm having a game that's more responsive, right, if I'm having an experience that's more responsive after season 1, but yet there are those of you guys in my comments section that have said that you've put the game down since season 1 because everything is just feels worse than it did before, well, maybe it's not entirely a netcode issue. It could be something else. Maybe the root of the problem might be a netcode thing, but I don't know, because I'm still having problems with getting shot around walls. But again, it really just boils down to, this is a dev question more than anything. You know, I'm only speculating at this point. It would make sense that it would be a netcode issue, but at the same time, maybe not. Because again, I've had my fair share of inconsistencies with the game too, in terms of different areas. But for me personally, the bullet registration and responsiveness of the game has improved over the last, you know, a few weeks to a month or so, but not everybody will agree with me. And that's the biggest problem with XDefiant. That's its biggest problem. You know, if I were to say, what is your biggest problem with XDefiant, you know, or what do you think the biggest problem with XDefiant is that, you know, needs to be fixed, you know, the number one thing on your list or whatnot, you know, especially when it comes to putting netcode aside for a second, I'm pretty sure every single one of you will have a different thing that you're going to say in terms of your particular experience. And with that being said, in terms of the intel suit, I really want to know, has it been a game changer for you ever since the recent nerf? Is it not as annoying, or is it still as annoying? So with that being said, guys, I might as well open the floodgates and just ask you, what is the biggest problem with XDefiant in your opinion? And again, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody's got so many different experiences with this game. But I really like to know, what is XDefiant's biggest problem in your eyes, in your opinion? I'd really like to know down below. And as always, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.